Growing concerns about the infrastructure of America's infant formula market, supply chain issues, and a recall led to a nationwide formula shortage 2.5 years ago. But after a flurry of lawsuits over infants becoming sick or dying, the only two companies that make premature formula are threatening to stop completely. Joining me now, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. And Khalif, there's an issue that involves Abbott here and the other company here that are involved in both hundreds of lawsuits. They're warning here that they failed to warn the parents here about the risk of the product labels.
Failed to warn, and those failures to warn led to massive lawsuits, $495 million in one, about $80 million in another. And so these companies are saying, you know what, it doesn't make sense for us to do this. Why? Because this only accounts for a few $1,000,000 of their bottom line. We're not talking about all of the formula. We're only talking about a small fraction of what they produce. And so the overall industry is a couple $1 billion industry. So if you're talking about getting multiple $100 million lawsuits from something that only garners you a couple $1,000,000 in gains every year, it's a cost benefit analysis. Do I have to continue to put myself at risk to these potential lawsuits? But on the other side, if you fail to warn, you do expose yourself.
It doesn't matter how much money. You had infants dying from this.
They 100% have folks dying from this, and so they should have contemplated the risk that they were taking on when going into this type of industry, not just the formula industry, but the premature baby formula industry, which is, again, something extremely lucrative. But at the end of the day, you got to look at this. If those two do stop, there is going to be an opportunity for someone else, to step up, or for another company to try to figure out how they can do this. But right now, they are the only two that do it. And so if I'm advising them, I'm looking at the dollars and cents as well. And I'm saying litigation costs, potential lawsuits that are mounting by the day. I mean, some of them up to 100+ different lawsuits. And so they have to figure out if this is something they want to continue to do.
Well, one of the things they're also talking about doing is going to Congress for some kind of help along this lines. And for perspective here, Abbott generates about $9 million in annual revenue from its specialized formula, but the company generates more than $10 billion in a quarter. So could the production stop here unless Congress has some sort of stepping in here?
I think that may be the only angle, and the only thing I can look at that is very similar to the situation is the gun control. In the 80s and early 90s, when Bush was in office, specifically attempting the gun manufacturers were being sued across the board, and they were saying, listen, how can we stop these lawsuits from coming? They're lobbyists. They started making sure that they diverted funds to lobbyists that pushed Congress to pass some type of immunity, specifically immunity for the defects not of the property or even for the manufacturers being able to be sued if a gun is used. Those are the types of things that people want to have be protected, because they're saying, look, I can't be in this industry. The product that I make in its very essence is something that is used, and that could take a life. And so if you're going to say for every time it's used in these instances I can be sued, then we're just not going to be in the business of making it. We're only provided to the federal government. Congress stepped in and said, okay, we'll offer you this protection. That's the only thing I think that could help these folks in this situation, is if you have some type of blanket protection. But on the other side, before that blanket protection comes into place, you'll have a ton of lawsuits continue to roll in.
And certainly a good talker for a lot of parents out there involved as well, and see where this goes for critical crisis management for the companies as well. Khalif, thanks.